and welcome to Candid Conversations with Shy. Today, we're going to talk about it. Our topic is love, the missing ingredient. So get your favorite snack, and we're going to get into it. Let's go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your girl Shy, the host of Candid Conversations. And today, our topic is love, the missing ingredient. Right? We going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. But before we talk about it, y'all know what we have to do. We got current events and we got what did you try new, right? So, current events, y'all already know there's always something going on. There's always something going on. There's always something going on. So, but let me pause before I start talking about current events and going into what I tried new this week. Let me know where you are watching from so I can give you a shout out. And in advance, thank you for the support. So, current events. I just so happen to be part of a current event. So, if you haven't heard, I'm going to need you to get real familiar with what is going on with the Dalai Lama, right? So, that's not really what I want to talk about as far as what he did, said, and all those things. What I'm actually gonna pull up, because I gotta read it. Like I gotta get this verbatim up in here. But what I want to talk about is someone that spoke on it, and I just happened to comment. Not thinking, my little comment was gonna do anything, but I decided to comment, and we're gonna get into this comment. So, in reference to the current event, the Dalai Lama, Cardi B, just made a general, you know, video statement. Watch your kids, da 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 da. See nothing wrong with it. So, one of the blogs I follow posted it, and I'm going through the comments. Y'all know we go to the comments to see what's being said, what's going on, and I was so annoyed at the comments because I could not believe that people had a problem with her stating, no matter who it is, make sure we're protecting our kids, because of her history and things that she used to do. So after going through a few comments, this is what I said. I said, she's right. Ugh, the human race sometimes is annoying. We all have negative experiences, but what does that have to do with her saying protect your kids? Truth be told, a lot of us were violated or could have been. So stop getting stuck on the messenger and focus on the message. So, hey, hey, hey. And so I said that, and I mean, still, I haven't read this message fully, but basically, in the first part, it says people have every right to get stuck on the messenger. My response was, I stand on what I said. And the reason I stand on what I said is because just because you may have an issue with someone, just because you may not like how someone lives their life, like whatever it may be, when we get stuck on the messenger more than the message, oftentimes that could be detrimental in a way that we're not even aware of. Because I'm just saying, if Jesus could use a donkey, he can use some human donkeys. Okay. So sometimes a word, revelation, something that you need come from the most unexpected places and or people. That was my whole point. And someone saying, why, make sure that we're out here protecting our kids and things like that. Like, unless this person was a pedophile themselves, which she's not, why would you have a problem with that? That was my whole point in that. And that is the current event that I was a part of. A lot of people actually agree with me. Again, like with anything, everybody ain't going to agree. That ain't your problem, indoor focus. It just is what it is. So that's that. So now we're going into things new that I tried this week. And something that I tried new was try not to drive from the passenger seat. Where my people at that be breaking, giving instructions, all of that. Now, let me just be 100% honest. It does not mean I did not, and they were like, oh, okay. Well, okay, never mind. I would have went the other way, but I'm not going to say nothing. Yeah, but the whole point is I tried it. Let me just let them do what they're going to do. And I'm gonna sit here and just enjoy the ride. I'm gonna sit here and enjoy the ride. So that was something that I tried. Um, did I still break? Sure did. However, I was intentional with practicing, even catching myself. Oh, okay, never mind. Nothing. I wasn't saying nothing. I wasn't doing nothing. So I'm proud of myself for that. So where my backseat drivers at, my passenger drivers at, y'all know what I mean. And especially if you are part of the heavy foot ministry, you got to get places fast, and you drive with somebody that drive the limit or below. Mm-hmm. So patience. I was exercising patience. All of that. So I'm proud of myself. The proud look on your face is proud. I really was proud of myself. So today the topic is love, the missing ingredient. Let me just come up with some facts. Here's 3 important facts about love. Love is complex. Love is a complex emotion that can take many forms, including being, romantic love, family love, platonic love. Love can both be positive and affect you in a positive and a negative way within our lives by increasing happiness and fulfillment, as well as we know the other side of love, that heartbreak, causing pain. The third thing here is love requires effort and commitment to maintain, and effective communication and mutual respect are key components in healthy relationships. So last week we talked about relationships, the healthy and unhealthy parts of relationships. And today we're talking about love, the missing ingredient. Here's the thing. Okay. Majority of the things I watch are for educational purposes and then entertainment purposes. One of the shows I watch a lot of is For My Man, and that's another one that's just like that, different title, of course. But in the scenes, it shows how a child becomes an adult, right? But it shows how they didn't get the love, or was not raised by their parents, mother and or father, or both. And it shows them on this journey. And so, them acting out, and then all of a sudden just looking for love. I was rejected. I didn't feel worthy. So I need to be validated. So I'm looking for love. I'm looking for acceptance. I'm looking to feel a part of. And so if you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. They end up meeting a guy, and the guy gives them everything that they've been missing, but ultimately they're being used and um, end up sacrificing their lives by ending up in jail. So I say that to say this: those shows would not exist if that was not an issue. So the fact that we are human, we need love. We need love. And what I've realized just within my circle, interacting with people, my own personal experiences, a lot of us did not grow up in the household where positive love was shown or any type of love versus the negative stuff. And when that's all you see, and that's your experience, and nobody is talking about it on top of that, as we grow up, it's doing things to us. Some of those things we're not aware of. Some of those things, because we haven't been impacted in that way for those emotions or those things to come up. But how we show up, it love has a lot to do with it. So, like I said, every topic I talk about, I'll share something from my life. The more you get to know me. So I did not know it was a thing for people to need validation. I didn't know that. Oh, you would like for me to tell you great job. You would like for me to tell you you're appreciated. You would like for me to tell you these things, and I really was clueless. Like that's a thing. Like, why you just can't tell yourself that and be okay? Because I did not grow up being validated. So um in a on a huge scale, I would say that it did not impact me because I didn't know like that was a thing. So it's not like I missed it. It's not like it affected me in a great way. It was just like you do what you need to do and you pat yourself on the back. If somebody say something, okay, cool, but I really didn't need that. And you just go on about life. And so with that being said, that was a deficit, right? And when we're talking about love in these relationships, just like I said here, it requires effort and commitment. So if someone needs that in the relationship, and if I love them the way I say I love them, that means I have to learn how to do something so that I'm meeting their need, just like I want them to meet my need. So love being the missing ingredient to a lot of things, how we show up or don't show up. I feel like I'm falling on my chair, so let me adjust myself. But how we show up or don't show up, what we give people, how we receive people, um, how we interact, right? So if you were someone that you were not raised in home with your parents, you don't know why, didn't nobody really tell you, you just know grandmama was raising you, or you just had your mom and your dad was nowhere around, and again, nobody is having a conversation. So you just grow up seeing other kids with their parents and doing certain things, and you begin to internalize, well, why am I not enough? Why do I not have a dad that's present? Why do I not have a mom that's present? Why do I not have either one of them that are present? Why am I in the system? Nobody in my family wanted me. Why, right? And so we grow up and we end up, it's like a magnet, like the things that we didn't have, that's what we show up as. So that's what finds us. It really does, the law of attraction. But it really does. And so the topic of love being the missing ingredient, it's a missing ingredient for all of us in different ways. In different ways. The love of a mother to a daughter. So then when you become a mother, like how you may be like, well, I'm scared to be a mom because I don't know how, if I'm going to nurture them and take care of them correctly, because I wasn't shown that, I wasn't given that. So all of the different things that, right? And then we end up making decisions and choices based on how we feel, how we're showing up, how our experience, what our experiences have taught us. So I just ask that you take a moment to look over some things in your life and see, Like, and when I say love is the missing ingredient, like, yes, love, but there's different things that's attached to that. Like, you may say, well, no, I have love, I know how to love, but you may have an issue with rejection. Like, well, I know I feel love, but there is an acceptance part, and that comes from, X, Y, and Z. Um, I also realized, well, not realized, but that love is a part of our identity. So you know how I said how we interact, how we show up, and different things like that. So how we were loved or how we were not loved is a part of our identity and how we show up. Somebody may be overly clingy, like, I just, oh, that's my friend, needs to be around, needs to be around, needs to be around. Somebody else may be kind of like reserved. Oh, no hugs, don't do do. I used to not hug. Well, not just even because of that. It's kind of funny, but the interaction with touch, even saying I love you. I didn't grow up in a household saying I love you. Like, don't even ask me how many times like I heard it, because I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't the norm. So then now you're in this relationship that requires, you hear the words I love you, you're like, what is that? How do I respond to that? How do I react to that? Or you may have it may put a bad taste in your mouth because somebody said they love you, but how they treated you was the opposite of love. So love, the missing ingredient to a lot of things that we experience and that we do in life, for ourselves, how we interact with family, friends, um, our significant others. Love. The song that comes to mind, and if you know, you know, love, a word that comes and goes, but do people really know what it means to really love somebody? Love. That's a Kirk Franklin song, because we say it often, and I believe most of us that say it, we mean well, but a lot of us are figuring out how to love from a healthy place, how to love beyond just saying the words I love you. What does love look like? What does love feel like? How can I operate in love even when I'm not saying the words I love you? How I engage with someone, how I support someone or help someone, or even tell someone, I can't be a part of something. Love. A lot of things that we do, our intentions are good, but there's no love wrapped in it. And so I even made the comment when I was posting, talking about what I was going to be talking about. Love is a missing ingredient, even in church. I said it. Love is a missing ingredient, even in church. One, that church is a spiritual hospital. Everybody goes for different reasons, okay? And everybody that go is not going for the good reasons. Let's just be 100% with that. But we're still human, going into a place to, for community and those different things, for our personal relationship with God, to engage in those different things. But again, I'm coming with my stuff. So although I'm in a spiritual place, more than likely when I interact with you, it's going to be natural first. So oftentimes people don't get or feel that love in a place where people say, well, you're supposed to, it's church. And I'm just here to tell you, yeah, it's church, but everybody is there for different reasons and because we need something. And so what you may have gotten that interaction, that's an area that we lack in. So I encourage you never to think just because someone has a title, sits in a certain position, have more years of life experience, or because something is a thing that is looked at as great and honorable and all of that, that is exempt from missing the mark. So if we led with love, a lot of arguments would not be arguments, they would be conversations. If we led with love, some of the physical fights would have never became physical. If we led with love, instead of shutting that person out of your life, you would have had a conversation where y'all both could have learned about each other and got some understanding. Because love is one of the missing ingredients. So whatever relationship you are in that you have, and like I said, this is from, you know, uh, friendships to significant others to family, all of the things. Um, Oftentimes, we expect people to give things that we are not aware or we have not logically realized they are not equipped to give us. And so love and grace comes in, where it kind of says, I see you ain't got it. I'm going to give you a pass. And if anything, my interaction and communication with you will help you open up a window of understanding and teaching you something you don't know. Now, again, we ain't talking about the people that just want to reject, reject, reject. We're talking about people that would love to engage and learn. We just haven't had the conversations. We haven't had those types of interaction. So, what is love to you? Do you have a healthy experience with love, an unhealthy, you're just on a journey to really find out what it means? Because what you was experiencing and what somebody else taught you, you realize that's not the type of love that I want. That type of love doesn't serve me. That type of love I don't feel, connected to, because again, people will love you based on how they know how to love, not how you need to be loved. So love, the missing ingredient. The missing ingredient. It is so, so, so very important for us to learn that it is okay to be vulnerable, for us to learn it is okay for even for things to be broken in the season. Like, it's okay. If you and a person not talking in a season, or things are not okay within the family dynamic, whatever it may be, because again, we have to experience things, we have to figure it out. Sometimes it requires a timeout, sometimes it requires us separating, sometimes it requires someone, what we call being the bigger person, but someone that has gotten the insight, faster than the other person, and is willing to share it, or is willing to say, you know what, because I realized this, I'm gonna apologize, I'm gonna interact differently, whatever the case may be. But when we look at a lot of things, love is the missing ingredient. It really is. And you don't even have to be deep about it. And when I say you don't have to be deep about it, meaning, again, we're talking about friendships, family dynamics, and different things like that. But even interacting with a complete stranger, having empathy for somebody. Because as we know, the position that you see somebody else in, and you may be shaming them or questioning their choices and decisions, we can end up in that same situation, because that's just how life is. That is just how life is. So how are we showing up lovingly? How are we giving love? How are we receiving love? And even if you are in a place where you say, I don't know none of that, love yourself enough to be honest and start. Like, like, you know what, Shy, I struggle in that area. I struggle with self-love. I struggle with, these things, because that's what happened. That's great that you're able to identify that, but be vulnerable and willing enough to attack that thing, to change the narrative, right? because it was not it, it was not an option for me to say, well, because I grew up in a household, not being validated as a kid, not hearing I love you, showing emotion and affection and all that, then that's okay for me to give my kid that experience. No, that is not okay. That is not okay. That means I could take this opportunity to explore and build something that I did not have, which is also healing to what is. Did y'all catch that? So a lot of these relationships that and I'm talking about the relationships that matter. A lot of these relationships that we are cutting off or um uh some of them we hanging on a little bit too long, but those different we're to learn something. And what are we supposed to learn? And sometimes we ain't gonna always be the teacher. Sometimes we have to be taught, and you have to be okay with that. Like, you have to be okay with that. Sometimes a kid will lead, okay? Sometimes a stranger will give you the word that you need. Sometimes a stranger's shoulder you would be able to cry on to get that release that you've been needing, and you don't feel comfortable or vulnerable enough to do that. Like, sometimes we just got to let go. Okay, we got to let go and let God, and we got to let go and let ourselves. Okay, because God can't even do it if we don't allow him to do it. So love, the missing ingredient. So I looked this up, and you can write this down. um because I've talked about trauma and different things like that. So it's three ways that you can heal trauma from not being loved, from not getting love, feeling love. You out here searching for love in all the wrong places. Like, you just out here, like, I know somebody on this earth gotta love me. I know somebody on this earth gotta see me. I know somebody on this earth has what I need. So, three things: therapy. Okay. I love therapy. I ain't never hurt nobody. It's always helped. Practice self-care. And for those, okay, okay, okay. Real self-care beyond the nail shop, beyond getting your hair done. Now, I'm not saying like you can love those things, but I'm talking about real self-care. Unplugging, reading a book that's going to help you grow in life. A staycation, a vacation. It's like a real self-care, taking care of your temple, what you're putting in your body, how you're loving on your body, like real self-care. Some self-care that's gonna cause you to feel maybe uncomfortable. Self-care can also be fun because you're like, I'm just out here trying some stuff. Today I'm about to go try yoga. Tomorrow we going to Pilates. Just let me find out what I like. Because we life be lifing and we be having experiences. And when we talking about love, like I said, we the good type of love, and we know love that will have us in pain, not able to talk, feeling down and out and or ready to blow something up, like whatever, you know what I mean? Because it's a very strong emotion, and the movie did not lie, the stone did not lie. It is a very thin line between love and hate. So to be able to rediscover, or if you never have, discover what do you like, what do you want to do. You may realize, hey, I like taking drives, I like getting on the train, whatever it may be. But I'm talking about like real self-care. And here's the thing, because it ain't always going to be free. You can do a lot of things for free or get you some coupons and things like that. But sometimes you just have to invest in yourself. What is it that you need? And if I have been willing to invest this amount of money, this amount of time over here, I need to make sure that I invest in myself in a great way. Okay? In a great way. So practice say self-care, and then connect with the supportive community. Surround yourself with people that have the same things in common with you, whether it's friends and family, a support group. Going back to practicing self-care, engage in activities that make you feel good. Self-love, exercise, meditation, spending time with loved ones, picking up a hobby. And then, like I said, seeking therapy, a licensed therapist, a counselor, a life coach, mentor, just, somebody to help keep you accountable in the different things. But that is loving on yourself. So if you're trying to figure out how do I heal this? How do I get over this? How do I shift? How do I create a new environment? How do I do all that? There are some tips and some ways to be able to do that. But those of you that's looking for some scriptures, Mark 12:31, 1 Peter 1:22, and then of course 1 Corinthians 13. Love is patient, love is kind, and all that. Let me tell you something. I have a huge sign of that in my room. And oftentimes I look at it and it's back and forth, that ain't what that scripture means. You know what? It's good word. Okay. That's how I'm gonna take it. It's good word. Okay. And sometimes I just look it over. And love keeps no record of wrong. Love is not boastful. Love does not dishonor others. So it's like if you feel like, no, he loved me. He loved me. He helped me take care of the bills, and he get this done for me. He give me money and all of that. Amen. That's great. Okay. But do you have a peace of mind? Is he respecting you? Is he honoring the woman you are and helping you to become the woman God has called you to be? We have to get out of this cloud of what love is, because it's filling a need. It's filling a void. It's repeating what I see mama and grandmama and auntie and them do and experience. So I'm just going to keep that going. So love, the missing ingredient. The next time you have to interact with someone and it's not the greatest person to interact with, and you like, Jesus, help me with this one, and show them some love, give them some grace. But when I say love is the missing ingredient, it is to a lot of things that we do, and how we show up and don't show up, and how we stay stuck and stagnant. Although we don't want to. We want to get out there and do and all of that. Those of us that struggle with loving ourselves because we don't even like ourselves. And words are powerful. Words are very powerful. So if you were ever told that you don't matter, don't nobody love you, don't nobody care about you, I want you to know that you do matter and you are loved, and someone does love you, and someone does need you. This world needs what you have. We need what you have. And only someone that does not love themselves, only someone that struggles in that area would ever speak that to somebody else. But I no longer want us to not give ourselves what we need just because it feels uncomfortable figuring out what that means, and because nobody else in your circle may be doing it sometimes. You may be the first one. You may be the first one. And you set the expectation and the new standard, and somebody was wanting to do it, but they needed to see somebody else do it. So you showed them that it can be done. That it can be done. So love is just not something you say. Love is something that you are. as something that you do. It is an experience, and we want to be careful that we are not staying in relationships, entanglements, whatever you want to call them, because they're doing all this other stuff. So it's okay. It's okay if it's me and three others. It's okay if they talking to me crazy. It's okay if I feel alone, although they're right here with me. It's okay if I give and I give and I pour into, I pour into, I pour into, I pour into, and I don't get anything in return. It's time for us to love on ourselves. It is time for us to break away from the the deception of what love really is, and it does start with us. It does start with us. And I also want to say, for those of us that have kids and that's a struggle for you, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done. um around one, kids, although before that, but around one, kids are able to interact with you. They're walking at that time, so they're fully aware, like, of what you're doing, if you're showing them affection and those different things. And I had this history that when kids like got around that age, I would like, okay, so let me pull back on the affection because now they're aware I'm doing it, like this thing. And I remember um one day, like, interacting with my daughter. She was in that age range, and I was about to, like, you know give affection or something like that, and I pulled back. And in that moment, I had to fight past traumas. I had to fight this belief system that was in me just from experiences, and I had to say, it stops here. It stops here. I wasn't too proud. I was vulnerable enough. I was intentional enough to recognize that. And it was freeing. It was freeing. And for those that do not know, my daughter, God always gives us what we need. She is super, super affectionate. Super affectionate. And one of her love languages is physical touch and quality time. Really, Jesus? You gonna give me a kid that's what they require, and that's what I was not equipped with? But let me tell you this, I let her lead, and I followed, and I still do that. We don't withhold love. You know how some people, they, if you don't do what they tell you to do, they withhold their love. Now they're not helping you. Now they're not supporting you. Now they're not this to you. Now they're not that for you because they're trying to control you. They withhold their love. No, you can get corrected in my house and we still gonna love on you. We not bargaining with that. So those unhealthy dynamics that we either experienced or we seen, and we're trying to figure out, how do I break this? How do I get rid of this? You lean into what is. And it's you make it okay to get vulnerable, to be vulnerable. You make it okay to learn. You make it okay to say I'm wrong. You make it okay to say I can join this group to figure out how. You make it okay to say, well, I'm a follow them. I'm gonna see what they do. You make it okay. Because if you want a different outcome, that means our actions, our choices, our decisions, how we show up, how we don't show up, all of that have to change. Love is the missing ingredient to a lot of things that we experience in life, a lot of things that we do in life. And if we attach this to last week's topic of relationships, you'll be able to see the healthy side of them and the unhealthy side, and how love flows or does not flow in there. So That's what I had to talk about today. Love is the missing ingredient. Okay, okay. I got some amens in the house. I got some amens in the house because y'all agreeing. So I appreciate that. Hey, Tracy. So again, though, I just want us to it ain't a light word. You can't tell me you love me and there's no actions. I need actions. I prefer actions more than what you saying. I prefer actions than you just saying it, because I mean, anybody can say that. But I challenge, I challenge you to just rediscover or discover something in reference to love, and how you love on yourself, how you love, how you love on, if you have kids, your mate, how love is within the family. And um I'm just saying, when it's the right kind of love, it's going to heal, it's going to set free, it's going to deliver, it's going to break cycles, negative cycles, generational curses. The love, the most important of these is love. When we truly learn how to love people before anything else, before the judgment, before the criticism, if we truly learn how to love ourselves and love people, that would take care of so much. And I'm not saying, ooh, if we have love in a relationship, everything. No, because love ain't paying no bills. Love don't keep communication going. You have to be willing to do that. So I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, if you mix a little love in there, I mean, I'm just saying, if you gonna come criticize me or tell me something, I'm gonna need to feel some love from that. You not about to talk to me any type of way. You're not about to handle me any type of way, because I'm not going to try to handle you any type of way. I'm not going to try to talk to you any type of way. So if we just throw some love in the mix, that's right, break strongholds, breaking strongholds. So I challenge you, if you have been, if this is something you struggle with, I gave, some three things you can do to heal trauma from not being shown love. I gave you some scriptures, three things the Bible say about love, and then I also pointed out three important facts about love. But it's the missing ingredient. So next time you feel like they get on my nerves, I just want to punch them in the face, or they keep saying this every time I try to hold them accountable, they say X, Y, and Z. If you are the more mature one, show them some love. Show them some love. Because just like kids, sometimes people, because of our traumas, we do certain things. Like, let me see how far I can push them. Because all they're gonna do, they probably just leave anyway. They probably just leave anyway. And if you continue to show up, because you realize it's not an ego thing, it's not taking anything away from me, I'm gonna show you love so I can help you heal that. Then we begin to see what love is through one another, from one another. So, thank y'all for tuning in this week. Candid Conversations with Shy. Join me next week. I do have special guests that is coming on in the month of May. We are going to be talking about mental health. I have a co-host that's coming on. So if you feel like that's you want to be on here talking, co-hosting with me, sharing some insight, your expertise, please do so. If you don't know how to get to all the links, just put it in the comments and I will get back to you. That is what this platform is for. It's for women, by women, for us to have those conversations that oftentimes we cannot have in certain environments or with certain people because we feel judged or we don't have that freedom to do so. But that's what this platform is for. So I encourage you to do that. Reach out to me. Let's do this. Then maybe you'll get caught up in some current events like I did. Who knows? Who knows, right? But thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and comment. Let people know your girl is on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And let's go on out here and sprinkle some love. Let's sprinkle some love on people. Let's sprinkle it on ourselves first, right? We gotta take care of ourselves first. You know how they on the plane, they say when the mask come down, put it on yourself first before you put it on, your kid or something like that. Because listen, listen, some of us are used to trying to save others before we help ourselves. And what good is that? You now you passed out and the baby over here with a face mask. All I'm saying is sprinkle some love and start with yourself first. But thank you for tuning in to Candid Conversations with Shy. I will see you next week, and make sure you tag a friend and you tell a friend. And I appreciate y'all. Oh, this comment: break strongholds. That's what we doing. That's what we doing with our love. That's what we doing with the love that God has shown us and told us. Because all these other definitions, it ain't working. So I'll see y'all next week. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.